Okay, wrapping up our little tour of New Zealand and the Tesla Model 3. I'd just like to hit on a few points as we make our way back up towards Dunedin. So wrapping it up, first and foremost, I mean, this is a superb car to experience. The handling, the quietness, the experience, the interior, it's really, really comfortable. The air conditioning systems, it just really is a superb car to drive in. Now, I did ring and talk to a friend of mine that is a car buff and he's got an exotic car collection. He says, "Oh, Tesla, yeah, I really don't want one because it's too basic for him." But by contrast, this is the sort of thing exactly what you want to be doing in a Tesla, really. And that's, we're tracking a vehicle that's out in the distance. If we get too close to him, we're going to slow down. The vehicle's going to do that for us. It's keeping us on the road. So your mind, even though you're still in charge of this vehicle, your mind is really relaxed about the situation. And this is for the best way to do it. Stick behind some other car that's doing the speed limit or the optimal speed for you. Don't overtake them, but let them do the guidance for you, because you're going to stay at a safe speed from them, and the Tesla is probably going to approach any curve or obstacle or the road in a way that the guy in the front is showing some leadership, put it that way. And looks like, I think we're going near town here, and you'll see that as we drive. Okay, second point, the cost. So including insurance, this is about $200 plus a day. And that's pretty reasonable. It gives you, by contrast, the option to go for any other vehicle basically that's available for rental. And that's reasonable, I think. You can go get some sort of exotic car from a European manufacturer if you can find it to rent. But then, is that really giving you a big difference in terms of your experience of New Zealand to be riding in some other SUV, say, for instance, as opposed to a Tesla? I think yes, because look how quiet this thing is. And I did mention about road noise in the first impressions video, but to be fair, that was some fairly coarse grade road. Comparatively, this vehicle is so wonderfully quiet. All you can do is hear the road around you. That's about as bad as it gets. What you hear, and you're probably not even picking it up through the microphone now, but it's just this ability to just cruise through the countryside. You know, it's the safe distance from this vehicle in front. So contrasting cost. Look, if you want a budget experience in New Zealand, you go get your $40 Yaris and away you go. Or anything across the range, a Subaru or something, or SUV type thing. But this is really, for me personally, I'm really glad I did it. Oh, here's where, just by the way, this is getting interesting. When the vehicle in front slowing down, I expect that the vehicle's going to spot the speed sign here. It's going to change. There we go. It's pulled us back to 50 kilometers an hour on the process of doing so. And we're pretty pleased about that. So that's all happened automatically. So look, I haven't got it on the list here, but you should not get a speeding fine in this vehicle because it's so observant about what's going on. So it's over to you to get a speeding fine if you can approve that. Now, where we're on cost, let's talk about the cost of energy or charging this vehicle. Now, I did keep tabs, and I had an expectation that maybe, oh, here's a guy. Look, it's not sure about what to do about this guy. There we go. Old mate was a risk, so the vehicle actually insisted for me to jump in and take control as it did so. So let's actually drive this vehicle through town now. Now, getting back to the cost. Now, I did the numbers. The Yaris coming down here to Dunedin from Christchurch, well, it was about 13 cents per kilometre. Now, that was just cruising. It's the open plains. So the Yaris is doing probably about the best it could have done on terms of mileage. So 13 cents a kilometre. By contrast, I've seen per kilometre rates based upon the charging and the kilometres it travelled. I've seen a range of different speeds. It's somewhere between 11 and 14 cents, depending how fast you're pedaling. Yeah. So it's not a big saving in terms of energy costs or refueling costs by comparison with, say, something like a Yaris. Thirdly, I was expecting, honestly, as this is, Teslas are kind of cool and there's not many around, so I was actually expecting that perhaps I'd turn a few more heads. There's that certain affluence and expression of self that comes with driving around in a Tesla. And, well, as a single heterosexual male, you know what? The only people I attracted were other heterosexual males. So in terms of turning heads, it really didn't do too much of a job of that. But I certainly felt good about myself. Was I feeling cool? Yeah, I was definitely feeling cool. But to the outside world, there wasn't a great deal of difference. Fourth, and this is a downside, is I suffered quite a lot of what I'd call charge anxiety. And we've always had it with the smartphones back in the day and computers, laptops, smart watches. There's that level of charge anxiety that you experience when you're driving around in a vehicle like this, as you do have to consider where you're going next and where you're going to charge the vehicle. And then there's that etiquette issue and the possibility of the contention, someone else being on the charge station that you go to. So there's always that concern that about in the back of your mind about a vehicle like this. Now, to be fair, that was just something that I felt internally. And if you did a bit more management about it, and I must admit, I do make decisions day to day, is that maybe I could have found myself a little bit more organised in that regard. And there's one other thing that solves that as well, to be fair, and that's as the charge network improves and as destinations, hotels, motels, guest houses get savvy to this opportunity, they're going to be in a position where they're going to be offering you to charge your EV, be it a Tesla or a Leaf or whatever, when you come and stay at their place. And that is going to solve that problem. If you can charge overnight wherever you're staying on holidays, then you're in a position that you can face the next day with a fully charged vehicle, and you can then, in a vehicle such as this, you're going to do 400 Ks. That's 5 hours of driving. In reality, you're not going to do 5 hours of driving, so that's easy solved. But that's still something that has to come as a future thing. Number 5, and you saw me just kick into, I'm back out in the open road, so I've kicked back into, and it's a really savvy experience, a really wonderful experience, something to really enjoy about Teslas is the auto steer system. So still got my hands on the wheel, and it'll get upset if I don't do the right thing, but this ability to just follow the vehicle in front or do a target speed, with a little bit less attention on what's going around and enjoy the scenery. And by contrast, and I was here in 2019 and had rented a Corolla that had some self-steering and some lane keep. That was, what would be the right word? It was a little bit scary at times. It was seeing the vehicle in front, so the adaptive cruise was keeping you on track and a safe distance from the vehicle in front. The lane keep systems in it were keeping you on the straight and narrow for the most part. But there was one situation that didn't go well, and that's where the vehicle in front disappeared around a curve. The Corolla in that situation would accelerate. If you're on 100, it'd take off and go for 100. It didn't see the curves coming. The Tesla system, by contrast, is seeing the road in front and is reading speed warning signs, so it's got a bit of savvy about the next turn coming up. So it's definitely got a big advantage in that, where you can rely on its auto steer a good deal more than the typical self-steering or lane keep system you see in other vehicle. Another thing, while we're on sort of that auto steer, self-steer, and it's in that same sort of bracket, it's speed. When you've got to get in a situation where you are behind a slow-moving vehicle, be it a tractor or someone's cruising around, we have come across a few of the camper vans, taking their time. If you're not in that cruise mode and you don't want to sort of just hang behind it, then the ability to just hit the gas in this vehicle and go around the car in front is just blistering. It's, one thing to experience the speed of the Tesla, and taking off at speed is always a bit of a giddy up, but to actually do that while overtaking in a necessary situation, this vehicle's ability to go from 80 to 100 plus in an instant is something that gives you a level of safety that you're probably going to appreciate, and does add, for me, a level of safety. Okay, so that's really about it for the Tesla. For me, it's really wonderful. Big tick for this vehicle. It really is a lot of pleasure. But let's look at a couple of things. Will I go home to Australia and go buy a Tesla? Well, I don't think so. My life doesn't suit one of these vehicles. I've actually got my daily drive, honestly, is a camper van, a big Mercedes Sprinter van, where I live my life. I go surfing, I go to the beach. It's a 6-meter Sprinter, so I can't fit in a normal car park. It's a vehicle that just really suits me. So, as a Tesla is so much more wonderful than any other vehicle on the road that you've just got to have one. For me, no, not the case. Now, by comparison, would I hire a Tesla again? At $200 a day compared to a lot of vehicles at $100 a day? That's a definite maybe. You know, if you feel a level of affluence, or you've got the spare cash, if it's really part of your holiday experience, then yeah, why not? Why not hire a Tesla and have this sort of experience? But I'm not going to run back to, I can't wait to my next Tesla drive experience. That's simply not the case. I enjoy a good drive, but I'm not going to rush back to hire a Tesla again. Okay, and finally, a couple of things for you if you're anticipating doing it yourself, going for a hire yourself. And I've already touched on it in another video, and for mine, the takeaway that I want you to think about if you're going to jump in and hire a Tesla is that, or even buy one, no, actually hiring one, is that you really want to make sure in New Zealand specifically, you want to download the ChargeNet app and educate yourself around that. It's a point for improvement for the rental company that they really could educate you better about that, is that if you're loaded and you understand how to charge this vehicle, you're going to set off on your holiday with a lot more calm and a lot more understanding and a lot less anxiety for the fact that you know how you're going to charge this vehicle. So download the ChargeNet app and familiarize yourself with it, put in your credit card, understand how to find the charge points, see the video that I've done specifically on the subject, and educate yourself before you go. And for that matter, you're going to probably download the rentals app as well. It doesn't add a lot of functionality, but it's certainly worth knowing, even for the fact that, oh, hang on, we've got a bit of an interesting situation. Okay, vehicles decelerated and dropped in behind the vehicle there that was overtaking us. That was nice, wasn't it? Good experience. Okay, so that's a positive again for the Tesla. Okay, and the other thing is that finally, and this is a point for improvement for the rental company, is that, you know, if you give people, and I was given a briefing, but if you give people a better briefing in this vehicle, it's certainly going to give people a better experience once they hit the road. They're not going to be calling you so much. I didn't call, I worked it out for myself, but I've got 30 years in information technology and 20 in the digital space. So I'm able to nut out most systems. If it's got an on switch, I can work it out. So, but for a lot of other people, they're going to struggle with it. So point for improvement for the rental company is a bit better briefing is going to go a long, long way to helping people go out and enjoy this vehicle and certainly have a great experience. So that's pretty much it. I'm not due back till 3 o'clock. What are we on, 2 o'clock? You know what? I'm going to drive past Dunedin Airport, I think, here. I'm going to just go off and use up the spare time. So to be fair, and finally, I'm enjoying this. And I'm going to make sure I use up every last minute of it. And that's the last word from me. Enjoy this vehicle. Enjoy New Zealand. It's a wonderful place. It's opened up post-COVID to Australia at least. And while there's a bit of traffic in front of us at the moment, there's a lot of open road and a lot of hotels, motels with vacancy, and a tourism economy that's set to welcome back at least a few people compared to its lofty heights. 2019, when it had 3.8 or 4 million people visit the country. This is a tourist-friendly place. So come and enjoy, take a little bit of experience away from New Zealand. Enjoy yourself while you're here. Over and out.